The alarm's going off, man. Stop hitting snooze. I need you. If you're looking to feel like warm and fuzzy inside, like I'm your guy. So they're in my top 20 EHL teams for sure. There's emotion, there's hatred. This is not like a very friendly series. It's like SpongeBob when he's got like the napkin and like the potato chip. Like that's how I feel. Listen, Colson, I didn't have fun. Everything in my body hurts right now. The team that has the lead in the second period is just not going to win that game. There's no need for air quotes. He's tardy all the time. It's the American thing to do. I was alive, just not very. No, don't get pucks deep. Hang on to the puck. Pass the puck. Shoot the puck. Are we live? Are we live? We're having a good time. JKP, baby. JKP. Hello, E-Show, and welcome into our final episode of the Coaches Summer Series podcast. Today's episode features Providence Capitals head coach Jeff Perreault. Thank you for being here, and thank you for closing us out with a bang, Coach.
What's up, my man? Missed you. It's been a few months.
It has been good.
Excited to get going.
You look good, though, Coach. Have you been enjoying the off season?
Getting a little golfing and a little fishing in
Absolutely.
between the stresses of the great times of recruiting hockey players in this wonderful world of juniors landscape right now.
I know. Oh, I know. Did you
A
get
little challenging.
did you get to golf with Neil Ravin at all?
Not yet. He's supposed to be coming down this way. He was waiting on some jerseys to show up, so we were hoping to squeeze around in, but I'm sure we'll get it done here the next month or so. Plenty of good opportunities, and some old players of mine that are working at some pretty nice country clubs in that Providence area.
Okay. Nice, nice.
So I'm looking forward to it. Mr. Kelly. Mr.
Oh, nice.
Kelly's at Newport Country Club, so going to be cashing in on some of those favors.
Absolutely. That's the place to be. So with the second year for you at Providence in the rearview mirror, division title, Final Four appearance this past season, what kind of things did you set out this past year to accomplish? And to you, did the year feel like a mission accomplished for Providence?
Going into the second season, it was important to me. I wanted to make sure I built a foundation of being respected. Our whole program, trying to run it as a class act program. Um, with that, with my players being respected and respectful off the ice and accountable, I wanted to create Providence as a destination for the future and as a place where I was fielding phone calls from players, advisors of wanting to come to Providence. I wanted to build that culture. And then obviously, with the college commits being one of our main goals, I thought if I could, develop and instill, that mindset at Providence, then the challenges would get a lot easier as we move forward. And I think we accomplished that. I think obviously we had a pretty magical year for us. I think in 2 years as a program, with the commits, the winning percentage, the Final Four appearance came up a little short, but I couldn't have been more proud of the players that have come through those doors so far.
Absolutely. Double digit commits amongst the highest in the league in just year two for the program. And I remember 2 years ago, after your first season in the league with Philly Hockey Club, you said you wanted to focus on toughness in your second year, which was your first at Providence. So do you feel that element of the game has become more important in this league and maybe more important in terms of moving guys on?
You know what, Jake, that's a great question. I gave it some, pretty good thought. I think with the EHL in general, I would say we're definitely a more skilled league. There was times where myself and Coach Ben, that was on, he's been great the last couple years with me, but I think we could count on one hand. We'd be like, is anybody going to make some physical contact in this game? And we'd have some penalty, games where it was 2, 3 penalties for the entire game, where I think at times we're like, the refs are probably going to start looking to call something just to, being a pass ref in the past at a pretty high level. You'd always hear coaches, bring it up to you like, oh, you're just going to start calling because nothing's happening or it's a clean game. But with that question, the focus wasn't really getting tougher as opposed to skill. I think we obviously see the teams. There was a nice balance. Yeah, you had some toughness, but the teams that were there at the end had the skill. We had skilled players up front, up, back, in the pipes, and the league in general. It's not a lot of penalties. It's not a lot of games out there that it's just crashing and banging, and it's a fine line for me because players that have played for me, and I think personnel around the league, I think we're pretty, I put a lot of onus on discipline with my players and not taking a lot of penalties. Besides a couple games that we got into last year for whatever circumstances, we had a couple where there was a lot of penalty minutes in a couple particular games. But besides that, pretty hard pressed to find us getting more than two, three, four penalties in a game. And I really stress that from day one at camp, every single game, probably in between every intermission with my players. Stay out of the box, stay out of the box, stay out of the box. Because in this league, and I think with the skill and the respect of the other teams that we play, there's a lot of talent. And if we're short, we're going to lose games. The stats are the stats, and if you're in the box, you're going to lose games. Yeah, do you steal some here and there? Yes, but you're not going to play these top teams and get out with points when you're spending half the game in the box. So, I guess to answer your question, with the landscape that we're in juniors, we don't have it's not we're at Boston College and be like, oh, I need a left-handed D man, skilled puck moving defenseman. We're trying to recruit the best players that we can, and then when I get in the camp, I see what ingredients is there and try to adapt our philosophy moving forward on what's the makeup of our team. But
Yeah.
I haven't put a lot of onus on going out saying I need to get bigger, stronger, tougher. I
Mhm.
want kids that can skate, can move the puck, and have skill first.
Absolutely. And speaking of training camp, after training camp last season, I got to talk to your guys ahead of their exhibition games, and they were all really confident about what the team could accomplish this past season. So, how did you guys set the tone from training camp on about what the bar would be for the year?
Well, I was fortunate going into this past season, and I mean you're phenomenal at what you do in our league and represent, and you have your hand or your fingers on the pulse of players for all the teams that are coming and going, and you take a lot of pride in knowing the personnel. But you knew who I was having coming back, and when I had kids like Josh Cordair and Daglin Kelly and Hanson and Sturgeon, the list goes on of returners, Mason Rudrud, Deschamps, and there's more. I had a lot of returners coming back and a lot of vets. Too many now that I'm paying the price going into this season. Um, but we saw the success, and they came in with the confidence last year because I think the first year that we were there, we represented well. We, got into the playoffs. If I remember correctly, we were 500 in the first year, but the kids had success. We were winning games. It's not like we were, stumbling into the postseason. So with that and with the veteran leadership we had, they came back with an aura about them that, oh, we're good and we're going to win. And all year I was a little bit nervous as a coach because of the confidence, the overconfidence some of these players have. And you knew some of the personalities that I had, and they were strong,
Yeah.
A type. And yeah, and as a coach, it was challenging for both myself and Ben, where we're like, oof, they're confident, they're confident, they're confident. And overall they kept persevering. Um, and it was contagious. Like they just expected no matter what the situation was, they were gonna win. And it wasn't anything I could really fight. Like we were talking about previous, the ingredients was the ingredients that we had in the makeup, and there was no changing some of the personalities that some of these players had. They were a pretty strong-willed team.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, I think I've lost 16, 17, 18 guys from last year, and I'm excited for the youth that's coming in. But that, to answer your question, it was simply the amount of returning players and quality hockey players. It was just the percentages were in our favor as far as that goes.
100%, 100% agreed. And another element to the program this past year was the addition of the premier team, finished second
Yep.
in their division, playoff berth, or one of the winningest teams in the EHLP this past year. So how do you think, having that premier level added to what you were already building at Providence?
It was challenging just because the makeup of today's juniors, and we've talked about it plenty of times. This year's good. To answer your question, I love having the source, the second team. And I don't call it second team. I don't really call it my feeder team. We're a family there. But overall, it's a little bit, it's my next generation of players, my younger players, players that I'm excited to develop whatever the skill and multiple skills are that they have to focus on. But with the success that we had this past season, it's been a little bit easier this season because now I'm seeing players where they're like, hey, you know what, coach? We see what happened in Providence. We saw the success of both teams. We saw, player A, B, C move up or get called up into the EHL. And we also see A, B, and C going to college. And now they trust that process as opposed to last year when it was our first, second year in the league in our first year having an EHL P team to add to the repertoire there and to the program. So it's been really nice this year. I focused. I have a lot of young kids coming in. I have '09s coming in. If I remember correctly, we even got a 10 coming in, and a lot of players were like, "Do we go midgets or do we come play EHLP?" But now they see the success. So it's a lot easier recruiting. It's a lot easier selling a product that's legit and you have the stats to back it up. So it's not just it's to touch more on it. It's hard because all these players they want it now. They all want it now. Well, when I bring in 50 players or 60 players, whatever the number may be, I can only dress 22, right? I can only in our EHL game. And same thing with the P. But last year I played a lot of players from our premier team that were, I probably had a legit four, five, six, seven that came in and could play EHL. But we were a pretty good team and we were heavy with age outs. So it just wasn't there. So could they found a home somewhere else? Maybe, maybe. Um, but and as we talk about this, I have players that have left now because they all want guarantees now in life. Guarantee, guarantee, guarantee. Well, when I went to college classes, my professor didn't guarantee me an A. And when I played, I wasn't guaranteed anything. And it's tough, but um, I'm gonna stick to my guns, and I legitly have four, five, six kids coming in that I know are EHL, and then I have another 40 something that are going to be competing, and it's straight up. You're going to fall where you are. If you're on the top 22, congratulations. And if you're younger and you have to work your way up, great. Or if you play great, you work up, or an injury, kid that moves up to another level, you don't know. But it's been, I guess it's a roundabout answer, huh? Going on a little bit, but as we all see, it's been really, really difficult because there's a lot of teams out there and a lot of leagues, and a lot of players will go to the place where they're hearing the answer that they want to hear instead of hearing some factual truth on not really what they want to hear, but that's what they're going to get at Providence. That's just the way it's going to be. Once you start promising multiple spots, you become a pretty dishonest coach real quickly. And then I think the results follow
Yeah,
with
and
a lot of L's.
so many voices in kids' ears, they're gonna get, the more they look out, the more there's a chance for them to hear the answer that they want to hear instead of the answer that they
Yep.
need to hear.
Yep.
So couldn't agree more. But I mean, like you said, like there was so much opportunity at Providence this past year. I mean, you look at some of the guys on the team that got, double digit EHL games despite finishing on the premier, so they could see that process firsthand. How does that benefit both the kid getting called up and players already on the EHL team from this, additional competition standpoint?
Well, I think if they see and they look at the history last year, I mean, you probably know better than I do, but I'd be willing to bet I had EHLP guys play 70, 80 games combined through the year. I had kids all the time playing, whether it's injuries or they deserved it. Legit players like we talked about that were there. Um, I'm excited for a couple of the players coming back this year, but it was just the experience. Our practices, I run a lot of practices certain days where both teams are on the ice. Um, if it's battle days, skill days, because I want to see. So they're getting a nonstop look from myself. We have the same staff, coaching staff with these guys. They go practice after practice. They're in the gym together. The locker rooms are 10 feet apart from each other. But what's great in our building, it's one sheet of ice, and we're the only two junior teams in there. It's us. And it is a family. And last year I was fortunate. I stressed it from day one. There's not a separation, there's not an attitude of we're the high team, you're the low team. Absolutely not, because my EHL team's usually older and the P team's going to be younger. And I stress on the older guys like this is our future. These guys are going to be on the ice. They're going to be on the ice with us in practice. They're going to be in many, a lot of them are going to be in the lineup for many games, which happen. And now this year, I'm excited because we'll have some players that are coming up.
Shifting focus to the EHL level, you guys definitely struck gold with the line of Declan Kelly, Aiden Raddick, and Daniel Kroon. So, what do you think enabled them to be as dominant as they were, amongst the best in the league?
Well, that was just pure, I wouldn't say luck. We had Daglin Kelly with us. Croon, Coach Fawcett played with his brother at Salve. Found him out of the KI and out of Calgary. And Raddick came to us as the season went on. He just I got a call from him, and he was an NCDC, and he's like, "Hey, coach, and between him and his advisor, is there a home?" He was also a Colorado kid, and as you know, I've been kind of in Colorado since '98 till the last several years, back and forth. So it was just three, legit hockey players there. And then we had, Deschamps, Rudd, Cordair, that were all returners. Um, it was just we had a lot of skill, a lot of age outs. It's too bad we're losing Raddick. He's going NCAA this year. So that was a bit of a blow, but we'll overcome it and there'll be more coming.
Yeah, he would have definitely been in the running for an MVP position this year, but I mean, it says a lot about him when he's able to commit as just an 05.
Yeah. So hopefully it works out for him at that level. I'm excited to see what he does, and we'll see how that goes. But it was bittersweet. I'm
Yeah,
never going to stop a player from moving up, and that was his goal, and he thinks he's ready for college, and you know, I wish him nothing but success with all those boys.
definitely. Another guy who's moving up is Declan Kelly, a 3-year guy with you from Philly Hockey Club to 2 years at Providence. He was one of the best players at the All-Star College Series, and then, committing to UMass Boston, one of the biggest commitments of the year. How do you think he grew over his time with you into one of the league's best players?
Now we could do an hour podcast on
Just
Mr.
on Declan.
Kelly. Feel like he's one of my adopted sons, and everybody that knows me knows our relationship and uh, how close we've become. And it's one of the reasons why I coach. When he came to me 3 years ago in Philly, he was playing midgets, and he we needed a player. I forgot there's numbers with the midget team, and Adam and I are close down in Philadelphia Hockey Club, and he's like, do you want Mr. Kelly to play for you? And I'm like, bring him on, let's go. And volatile, full of fire, full of confidence,
100%.
tough kid, could score goals. He didn't think he could score goals in the beginning, but I put him in that role in juniors, and he slowly started off scoring goals, putting points up. And I remember one day, it was funny because I feel like it was therapy sessions daily with him in a good way. But he came in a little bit distraught, and he's like, "Coach, we got to talk." And I'm like, "What's up?" I have an open door policy. He sits down, he goes, "Well, something's wrong here. I'm leading the team in points, and I'm not a goal scorer. And I'm like, well, the points are saying differently because you obviously are a goal scorer because you're leading the team. But and he was like, but I shouldn't be. I got him to trust himself, and one of the biggest aspects is what you and I were talking about previously. I was very tough on him, and I'm strict on my team when it comes to penalties. Um, his prior game, he used to take a lot of penalties, and he was first to get involved in any type of altercation there was. And I think when he found out that, hey, when I stay out of that and I play the game, my coach trusts me, all of a sudden a lot of positives happened for him, and then more pucks were going in the net, and he became a 200-foot player most of the time. But I would stress the 200 feet to him. So we've had plenty of healthy, let's say, communications back and forth, altercations with each other. But we've been through a lot. I absolutely love him as a hockey player and as a human. We'll probably be close for years to come. And he wanted to go to UMass Boston so bad. And Coach Belisle, it's gonna be fun watching Mr. Kelly with Coach Belisle. So I'm excited to see that, and he's ready to go. And if you talk to him now, he already says, "Up, I'm gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna win, and we're gonna go to champ." Like that's how he thinks. He just thinks he's going to the championship wherever he goes, and that's his end goal, which is good. But it was special. It was a special relationship, and it's why I do what I do.
Absolutely. And I mean, hard to say he's not a goal scorer when he scored that Michigan overtime winner at Worcester
Yeah,
last year. That was
that
something.
was against Wizards, correct?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
First team to beat the Wizards last year.
Corey and I were talking about it. Corey and I are close. I love him as a coach and as a person, and respect him a lot. That's what I love about the league.
Yep.
Like we most of the coaches we get along really well, and there's a lot of respect, and we work well together. Um, and it's easy to coach in this league and to want to be a part of this league.
Glad to hear that for sure. And other guys that moved on, you have your second line, a trio of players, Josh
Yeah.
Carter, Braden Deschamps, and Mason Rudrud, all returners, with Josh being a 2-year captain for you. So how special was it to see all three of those guys, move on together to Riviera?
Oh, that was fun how it came together, and there's a lot of synergy with those boys and myself with Rud and Cordair and even Hanson, all past Colorado Thunderbirds, which I was really close with that program, being from the Denver area, and when Angelo Ricci was there, and now he was with the Flyers, and so there was a lot of synergy there. And then with Mr. Deschamps, his father and I, it's funny how hockey works. We hear it all the time, but his father and I worked together years and years ago in the hockey industry, in the equipment industry, when we were reps, pro reps and equipment reps for retail. And his grandfather I was very close with, and I just talked to him, Buzz Deschamps. He's in Long Island. So it's just funny when all of a sudden, his father and I, we didn't even have sons at the time. And then 20 years later, I'm coaching Brooks, Braden's dad's son, and his other son was over at Rhode Island Hockey Club the year before and on the college. And the next thing they're aligned, they had multiple offers. Each of them had a few different offers to different schools. And then we were talking, and all of a sudden, we were talking to Riviere, and I'm talking to Coach. I'm like, hey, these three boys, they kind of want to play together. Is there any chance of making that happen? Kicked some rocks, turned them over, kicked them around, and next thing he's like, I'll offer your entire line. And the boys, they were a good line. Like I put that line, I was real fortunate to have two lines. And was there a first, second? Maybe you can argue it for different reasons, right? There's Josh was probably 100% my most trusted player on the ice. If I was down a goal, Josh was out. Like many situations. If I'm 5-on-4, Josh was out. PK 5-on-3, Josh was out. So there was a lot of trust there. Um, Braden got hot this year, scored a lot of goals. Mason has that size. When you look at Red Rod, and I would tell everybody in the league when you watched him practice and you'd watch him play, he battled some injuries this year, some concussion issues. He had an issue with his knee that lingered on, and it kind of got in the way. Not everybody knew, so he was battling some issues there. But if you came to practice and you see Red Rod go, that kid looks D1 all day long as far as his skating stride, the way he can snap that puck off. But his size, skating, he's got that entire look. Um, so Riviera, it's going to be fun having that entire line. We'll see if coach keeps them together right out of the hop. I'm excited. I mean, one of the best things about being in Providence is I have all these players playing college hockey right in the backyard. I can get to a lot of places in an hour, 2 hours. UMass Dartmouth right down the road, Salve, Roger Williams. We have boys all over the place. So that's going to be exciting.
100%. And just a final note on commitments. Obviously, as a whole, Providence outpaced most teams at this level of hockey. So, how do you think, your guys were able to stand out in such a competitive year for college spots?
It just, and like I said, we were fortunate, and I think we were a pretty potent team, and we were, at the top with, Walpole and the Avalanche, and then 87s, took off, and plenty more teams. But if you're winning games and there's a lot of success and you're ripping off, a lot of W's and a lot of points, I think, when I would recruit for some teams in NCAA, pretty easy on where you want to go watch, right? I think if you have a couple teams, whether it's, the Avs playing Walpole and 87s playing us, or vice versa, those combinations, you're going to go watch those games. There's a reason why, at the end of the year, there's a reason why teams are at the top, right? They're probably going to have the most talent. Um, you know, talent wins games. Coaching. I think I'm an all right coach, but they always say, "Show me a good recruiter, I'll show you a good coach." So, give me some good hockey players, and we're going to win some games.
Exactly.
But to touch on a little bit of what you said, our system. Um, do we have systems? Of course we do. We all have systems, but I'm not a robotic coach. I let my players go. And I think that's one thing that maybe attracts these colleges. When I talk to a lot of my players, certain players that I'm trying to bring in and recruit, it's true. I mean, everybody that knows me, the coaches, it's nothing to hide. I let my guys go. I tell my players, let the ponies go. Fill those lanes, get after it, have some fun. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. I'm not going to gas you. You're not going to get benched because you make a mistake trying to become a better hockey player. Like, I think it's important when you let these players play to use their creativity, not be afraid to create. And most important, have fun playing the game. I think a lot of places you go and a lot of players I talk to, they're not having fun. There's no way. I see, when I look across sometimes, it's like, oof, you see some kids that are miserable. And then you see a lot of teams where like, hey, these guys are having fun that we're playing. But that's one of my goals is to have this positive atmosphere. And I like that when I go and watch players and recruit, I want to see kids what they can do. I don't need to see them just be like a bunch of robots.
100%.
A, B, C, over and over and over. Play the game. Let me see what you can do.
100%. And being
And
in
I
a
think you saw that this year. There were some pretty goals this year on this team, but that
yeah,
was because they were allowed to go.
100%. I mean, coming from a place where that was the norm, where kids were miserable and kids were robots, like it was refreshing to see a team like yours that were able to get the same success, same number of commitments, and if not more, and
Yeah.
the kids are actually enjoying themselves, which is what matters the
Yes.
most, for sure. And one final player to note is James Karen, who
Oh boy.
slated for a P to E call up this year, got plenty of EHL time this past year, one of the best players, one of the most exciting players in the Premier from the past season. So, how do you expect his game to translate to the next level with now a year of
Well,
junior?
I told him last year. I heard about it. He's funny. I'm so excited to have him full time this year. He's one of the players that when I told some players, like, yeah, Karen's got a guaranteed spot. He's coming. He was right there. He could have been an EHL guy.
Hmm.
Um, He's explosive. His work ethic is off the charts, both on and off the ice. Last year, we have a drive-in movie theater across the street from our arena, and the players that weren't there last year, they'll become very familiar with it here um, next Monday and Tuesday when we officially start practice. And he just works so hard. He plays the game the way as a coach I like to watch him. He gets after it. I don't need to worry about telling him to be F1 in the forecheck and the back check because he does it everywhere. He could shoot the puck off. Um, he was pretty dynamic last year. I heard all year, Coach, when am I coming up? When am I coming up? Even when he had his little suspension, it was pretty funny. He's already become quite the character in a fun way because you never know what he's going to say. And to give you a little bit, he was suspended for a few games last year, and he calls me up, or I get a text. It must have been midnight. I don't know if it was 11 o'clock, midnight. Hey, coach, is there a reason why I'm not in the lineup tomorrow? And I'm like, I don't know, James. Maybe because you're suspended for 4 or 5 games. And he goes, oh yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about that, and it's true. But he just loves to play the game. This off season, he's been just just awesome. Calling players, hey, come to Providence, come to Providence. And coach, we're gonna get there again. We're gonna get to the Final Four again. But that comes back to what we were discussing. It was a younger player, an '06, wanted it all, but now he saw the success in front of them, right? And he saw the college commits and he saw the results that we got. Well, now he's feel like, well, now it's his turn. He's
Absolutely.
one of the ones. And I've told him, hey, I heard from you all year last year for 50, 55 games. Why am I not there? Why am I not there? Well, now it's your turn, bud. Like, go get him.
Yeah.
Because now, and I'm going to be expecting a lot because he's not going to be treated like a rookie. He's going to be treated like he's a returning vet. And he's going to get top minutes and it's going to be his to go with some of the others. So, but that goes back to what you asked about with the EHL, with the P guys. If they trust that process and they see what happens, um, they're going to be fine. And we're seeing it. It's a tough landscape out there, though. It's tough.
It is. It is. And finally, there is one last addition to Providence for the upcoming year that we need to talk about. Your son, Stephon Perreault, will be on the coaching staff with you this year. So, how excited are you to coach with him, and what do you think he's going to bring to the table, coaching at the premier level and alongside you, the E?
Yeah, it was a little bittersweet. Well, one, I'm thrilled to be able to coach with Stephon. Um, as a father, I didn't know because last year he was playing pro in Germany, and I've watched him a lot. He was played for Coach Nowak at UMass Dartmouth before that for 5 years because of COVID, and played junior hockey up in Canada and then down here in the U.S. Kind of came out of nowhere the way everything happened. He has a great um, he's really good at communicating and a feel for the game. So he spent some time with the players before he left for Europe last season. Then their season ended early, so he was with us the last, I don't know, 3 weeks or so, 3, 4 weeks of the season. And I think the heartstrings started tugging on him a little bit because a lot of players gravitated towards him. The opportunity came. Being 27 years old, he has an opportunity in junior hockey to, be a head coach and an assistant GM and then also be with me at the EHL. So he'll be with both teams on both benches. He was very fortunate to play under a lot of good hockey coaches in the past. So he's going to bring another element to what we have there, and he's going to expect professionalism, and he only knows how high-end hockey players are treated and how it is in the locker rooms, on and off the ice. So that's going to be nice. We'll see what happens. But he's going to be dynamic to have as far as his IQ is up there. Some of the guys in the league know him. He's played for Coach Bartholomew for a little while back in the day, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And but players gravitated to him when we talked about Daglin Kelly and Mason Rudd, they all like, and some of my D man. So him being a D man, it's a nice addition to have a full-time, I guess D specialist, but that's going to be able to pay a lot of attention to the back end. So it'll be fun. I'm excited to see what he does, and maybe I'll leave it in his hands here, and we'll see.
Well, we're excited for another year of Providence. Hopefully, more of the same from the Capitals. So, thank you so much for your time, JP. I know I made you wait for this one, but I hope it was worth the wait. Thank you for your time, man.
Yeah,
See you soon.
you're the best, and we'll be hugging you soon, there, kid.
Absolutely, appreciate that.
Get those suits ready. You got some good suits. Any new swag this year?
Gonna go shopping this week.
See you, bud.
Thanks for listening to The E Show, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Learn more about us at easternhockeyleague.org and follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms. Also, be sure to subscribe and get notified when our next podcast episode is released.